everyone. This is M.R. Rangaswami, the founder of Indiaspora. Great to be here on this webinar and to moderate and host this Heritage Rice program today. And Mani, thank you for having me, and thanks for making all this happen. I know you and I talked about 2 months ago, and this was just a concept, and it's great to see such great participation from all of you today. Again, great to have you. Just a quick note for those of you who don't know much about Indiaspora. We are a leadership group of diaspora across various professions. So we are tech folks, doctors, lawyers, artists, academics, and all different professions to act as a force for good. And happy to kind of talk about Heritage Rice this evening. And just a few remarks before we get our first guest on at this time. Again, a lot of you probably went 25 years ago and you bought a tomato. And this tomato was perfectly round, right color, right shape, it was shiny, and that's kind of what we got used to. Same thing with carrots. You bought a carrot that was the perfect color, the shape, the size, and so on. But if you really go back, and this is what all of you are here today, is the yearning to go back, in a sense, to the future, right? What were the original varieties like? For example, if you look at now heirloom tomatoes and heirloom carrots, they come in different shapes, different colors, different sizes. They taste different, and they're used for different occasions. And so the same thing is now happening with rice as well. When we really want and long for the old days when India had, I think, 100,000 varieties of rice. And I'm told there was rice grown for different occasions, summer, winter, rainy season, and so on and so forth, right? And so as we kind of leave the industrial age, in a sense, where all crops were grown because they had to be scaled to feed a bigger population. And so we went for scale, productivity, maybe some, other reasons as well, to stay fresher longer, and all these various reasons were given. And we have these products as we see them today in the supermarkets and the grocery stores. But now I think the movement has started, like I said, first with tomatoes, then with carrots, and now with rice. And I want to bring up the instigator of this heritage rice movement that started in India. And full disclosure, Sheela Balaji also happens to be my niece. So Sheela, can you turn your video on and join us?
Yes, hello Madhav, and hello everyone. It's lovely to be here, and thank you, MR, for coordinating and making this happen, as you were telling Mr. Mani. And I think Mr. Mani being there, hello Mr. Mani. It's been a great journey that we've enjoyed ourselves with bringing back proper rice to the table.
Absolutely.
No, this is wonderful, Sheela, to have you. So tell us something. I know you've done schools and colleges and livelihoods, and you've done so much, nonprofit type work to bring up people in the rural areas of India and such. But how did you get into looking at rice and starting this movement?
I work in a small village called Manjapudi, mainly as a focus of under the umbrella trust called Swami Dayananda Educational Trust. This is right on the Kaveri Delta. And every time I go to the village, you see, as far as your eyes can see, we see green fields. And then when you're working with them and teaching them, you'll find 90% of our students are farmers' children. The question was, what rice? Everywhere you hear of rice has no name but a number. It's CR1009, BPT 70, then ADT 43. They're all kind of, they've just got numbers, kind of like a prisoner, And so now, then I said, no, we can't do a rice from our village. We should try to revive some of our older, because we are trying to revive traditions. We are trying to revive our culture. We are trying to revive so many things. So along with that, food is very much a necessary part of culture. And if the basic in South India, what is your basic element in your food? It's rice. All the others are accompaniments to the rice. So the rice has got to be good. And plus, my mother was herself interested in farming, and she was the one who first gave me the name of Tuyamalli. So then it starts once you get a name, it's a kind of a wild goose chase. You start researching. The net is, of course, available to you, and then we talk to different people. Slowly, by 2014, I already had about 10 varieties of rice from Tamil Nadu. Then from Tamil Nadu, I started saying, why not I start conserving? It's only 2013-14 we started actual conservation. And today I have, I think our farm has got about 250 varieties of rice from about 14 states across India, including Manipur, Tripura. We even have from Myanmar, Chiang Mai, of course, from Bengal. And so we have quite a few rice. So we keep aside a certain acreage only to conserve this rice. And also, as we started cultivating, a lot of research and a lot of experience later, and talking to different people, we found there are many conservation groups all across India. In every state, there are about 3 or 4. But we are not all sort of aligned. And another thing is the reason why should we conserve rice? Why not progress? But the thing is, for any progress, your germplasm has to be given by Mother Nature. We cannot create an original land race. So that has to be given from Mother Nature. And if that goes away, we don't have the mother source. So, it keeps on. So we have to conserve. For biodiversity, it's absolutely necessary. Plus, if one plant gets a kind of a disease, imagine if there's only one monoculture, the entire crop will be destroyed. As it happened quite frequently, either due to flood or salinity or drought or some pest. So I think that is very necessary for us to continue with this conservation. Then the next question was, all right, we conserve the rice, conserve the seeds, but how do we keep it alive? This seems like an artificially keep aside 10 acres, 15 acres and what do we do with it? Every year put it on again and conserve. It didn't somehow, to me, the breakthrough came was when I said, we must educate the market, educate the customer, tell them about the richness of our tradition, richness of the rice, what it was used for, how was it used. So unless we do that, we find a market for this rice, then the conservation has a greater meaning. So we have people doing the seeds, then we have farmers cultivating this rice, and then you can get into the market. So the people come to know that there's so many names. Today, because of that, I find even common people, at least 10 varieties they would be telling you names, which I think 5 years ago it was not there. So I think that's a great thing we've done. Plus also what we've done is train the farmers, assuring them, saying, we'll give you the seed, we'll give you the inputs like vermicompost and other organic inputs, and we'll buy their produce totally at more than 50% what the government pays, 1.5 times. So that they have the money, we have the rice, and we find the market. This is how the spirit of the earth under which we showcase our rice comes out. That's how I got involved. And if you want to see some of the rice, I just thought it would be interesting to see the black rice you can see.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the black rice. And that is called, that's a rice from Manipur. It's called Chahao Poiritin. Chahao means delicious rice. And this is very famous from Manipur, near Imphal, where I work with a farmer and he sends me the seeds and I grow this in Manjakudi. Then we have a Punkar, which is quite different. It's pinkish.
Mm.
Can you see that?
That's the Himalayan salt equivalent of rice.
Yeah, kind of. And then we have another one, again from Manipur, which is even darker, which is called Amubi. I mean, it's quite interesting to to see these varieties, when you see such a lot of color, which we are not used to. We say rice and one red goo comes in, or a black one and purple one. So these are the varieties.
You're breaking the stereotypes of rice as we know it, right?
Absolutely. You know, just like when, for example, 20 years ago, when people said go back to whole wheat bread, I think there was a kind of a resistance because one was used to white, soft bread, whiter the better.
Right.
And now it's browner the better, or blacker the better. So now it's the same thing with rice.
No,
it takes a while getting.
Yeah, so it's almost like Black Lives Matter all over in a different way.
Yeah, you could say that. Yes, yes. In fact, colored rice, colored. I would say colored. In fact, colored lives are more interesting.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Sheela. So just stay on with us. And I want to just bring Mani Krishnan into the conversation here. Mani, good to have you. I know you have this amazing business called Shastha.
It's been a long time, but the journey has been absolutely worth it. It all started in somewhere in later part of 2019, when Jayanti Somasundaram, part of Aim for Seva, came and talked to me, and she showed me the various rice that was being grown in Manchakudi. I said, there is something to this. As someone who has been selling batter for the last 15 years, we use all kind of rice. And I said, this rice, and as part of the portfolio, we sell also the rice, etc. So I said, this rice have to go, and ended up going to January to Manchakudi. One of the most memorable trips. It's an exotic location, you know, wonderful guest house, great food, you know, great ambience, great green fields, and visited the entire Tanjore belt from there. My God, you know, mixing business with pleasure plus a farm trip. What more do you want in life? You know, and so we decided, and I, you know, just like Sheelaji was saying, we basically said, we'll buy whatever rice you have. Okay? We basically said the price is yours. I'm not even going to ask what the price is, that, whatever the price, we'll pay it, and we will try to get to the use. That was the fundamental commitment. You know, minimum commitment price from our side for a heritage rice, which is priceless and which is our ancient, that is the opinion that I had. And finally, after the pandemic, etc., the material had to be moved from Manchakudi, Madurai to Mumbai, where one of my friends, Mr. Janadharan Parboil, processed it, etc., shipped it sometime in October. We got it into the Bay Area in December 15th, 2020. And I can tell you, as of today, within 2 months, we have sold out 60% of the product. Okay, it's a very, very small step. And even at that time, I told Jayanti, next year, whatever you grow, whatever I picked up, I will pick up 4 times, you know, within my ability. So that is what we committed. And of course, we are waiting for the harvest reports, etc., so that we can get the next lot. So that is the background, Emma.
So are you going to use you're selling this rice as is. Are you also going to make dosa and idli batter with these different rices?
Absolutely. That is the advantage I have. See, today we have almost 14 types of batters. 14 types of batters nobody has in the world. Because of the fact that we are in the Bay Area, we have the ability to experiment and do all these things. So we will introduce a heritage-based batter. June or July. And as a matter of fact, forgot to mention, they are already selling batter based on this rice in the Spirit of Earth.
Fantastic.
So you know, our advantage, MR, you know, our advantage is we can bring the rice, sell it as it is, look for conversion possibilities, convert it into batter. So from a choice point of view, the consumer has many options to look and taste the product. And of course, we tried some of these rice and made some small quantity batters. It's absolutely astounding. Can you imagine, dosa, like I said, dosa is going to be bigger than pizza and burgers, MR. Okay. And today, when we have 14 types of varieties, and let us say we have a plan of bringing in 50 to 100 types of rice in the next 12 months. If we offer 100 types of batter and 100 types of rice, we are really scaling up and looking at things in a different space.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Mani. Thank you so much for the work you've done and actually visiting, checking out the product, bringing it here and doing all this stuff.